And good morning. Happy Tuesday. Today we'll be doing some planning. Planning. Where's my zipper? Oh, I got my... Don't you hate that when you like lose your zipper on your sweater? It's like, yeah, I need to... There we go. What are you looking at? Character stuff. That and maybe a little bit of Rust Analyzer updates. Git fetch, git pull. Characters are going to be a huge part of the game because people play them. And without that, you don't get that much of a connection with them. So we have to work through that. So we're probably going to be doing some really scribbly sort of designs. What is this Zeesh theme? Oh, good question. So this is called Challenger Deep. That reminds me that we don't have a bot running. We're gonna run. Upgraded the OS on my Pi last night. There we go. So we have commands, and we even have a link to that theme. And I know it links to Vim, but if you just go to the project root there, they have the theme for Zeesh, for all this stuff. Also, Zeesh, I'm actually running Starship. Oh, it's taking a while. So as my prompt. Oh, that's right. We've got a lot of stuff in there. All right. We're coming back here. We're going to look at this piece here. I don't know if I'm actually going to stream these pieces. I don't know if they're going to be all that interesting. So this I might do off camera on nights and weekends. But this bit here I think is going to be interesting to people. Even though, while this is very, very useful and I think it engages players, this stuff up here is kind of like the bread and butter of like game stuff. Having tools that help you build a game. Alright, so characters and customization. Mind map. Let's do it up here. All right. There we go. Just a little bit of a note there. All right, so things that we need for release. I'm going to trim it out first. So we'll have like priority 0, right? Nothing before it. We need this one. We P0. This one too. We have to determine what sort of items. Because we need something that lets you characterize your characters. Sort all. We need database stuff. Can you share outfits? Ooh, okay, so P1 for that. Outfits are like extra. Now, we've got some issues, concerns, whatever we want to call it here. Let's say we have some considerations. Microscopic art team. Singular dev team. How much time? All right. So we're going to make some design decisions based on this. The customization should be engaging. They should let people represent themselves, right? This does not mean that the characters should look like the players. That just means that however they feel, however they want to express themselves, should be achievable here. All right. No, I'm going to take this down, take this off. So we've got our considerations here. Ideas. We will have, let's see. What's a good way to put this? Well, I know that this is very much a kind of social topical thing at the moment, but I do not mean it in the social way. I think that these characters, the base form of these characters is actually gender neutral, and that the customizations should reveal gender if so desired. The core model actually is also not going to change. Let's say this in a slightly different way. Core model mesh does not change. So let's simplify this. Less is more here. Model mesh does not change. Model, what do we think about putting a lot of focus on gender? No. I don't. I mean, personally, I don't care how people kind of reveal themselves like that. But I think for the game, having one mesh will simplify things, right? Because that means I have less to do. It's kind of like in some other games, like if you look at Among Us, right? Among Us, character maker. Oh, that's a little bit violent. I don't know where to find this. But basically, in some games, you have a core model, right, which represents the character. Yeah. Oh, Xenocron. Oh, this is interesting. Why isn't it picking up Xenocron? You find it hard to apply to 3D as a concept? I think there's going to be some other ideas here to kind of cope with that. I think we have to come up. So I think this would influence the model. Right? If we came up to an artist and said, I want to hire you to build a model that has these sorts of constraints. Give us some ideas. Right, what would they come up with? Let's see, model texture can change. So that's a big one, right? And you can do a lot with texturing. Also, right, this is like the base mannequin. It doesn't, it's like the Barbie / Ken doll. Where a lot of what people like in those things is actually everything that you put onto it. Let's see, kinds of customizations. What could we actually do with customizations, and what could we get clever with? I think the model texture could be stamped out. If somebody decided that they wanted to have, such and such eyebrows, such and such, eye color, etc., we could actually create a texture that composites these. So that's something that's possible. Hats, definitely. We already talked about hats. Oh goodness, we talked about hats so early on. Oh, it's interesting that it puts a gap there. Hmm. Do I need 2 spaces? Fancy. That is so confusing. If I add a space there, the space ends up here. Whatever. What shape is the model? We need to figure this out. I'm expecting this to be incredibly casual. Right, so while there are things out there, of course we all know WoW characters. They look brilliant. But Blizzard had a lot of time to make these. But I think these characters are a fantastic example of an incredibly low polygon character that has a lot of detail in basically what it's wearing. So I think that'd be fine. I wonder if we could do scaling on the character. Alright, what shape is the model? Can the model be scaled? Can portions of the model be scaled? What else could we do? Portions of it being scaled, the textures being applied, of course the stuff that they wear could be different. Set clothing, put that out of there. Yeah, it's shoes, etc. Like, whatever. I think a lot of that actually comes down to what shape is the model. Because if we start thinking about this, and just really rough sort of mouse sketches. Right, you typically have, I guess, stick people, right? Oh, that's not a stick people. Right, so if you had a person, that would be like so. Right, this is person. So if we have this sort of thing, like I get this. Like people like to be people. But how much of a person do you need to be? Like, what if, you know, your shape was a little different? I mean, you know, do legs have to be really long? Can legs be short? What do people actually appreciate from form? What is kind of that base canvas that somebody would want to work with? What is cute? What is fierce at the same time? Stick people? Oh yes. Well, look, it evolved really, really quick. We went from A to B very, very quick. Like the one you made. I'll have to take a look. That's cute. I'll share that. That's cute. And I am a huge anime fan. Um, I love the expressiveness of this genre. Right? You get more facial real estate, right? Like you get a lot more space to wear your emotions. I could absolutely see having like chibis. Right? They kind of fit the bill for, you know, outfits being wearable. The adornments kind of describe who they are. I mean, I don't think I would go like this. Like this sort of proportions, the half and half head to body, is I think a bit much. Something like this, where you get like the 1.5 body to head. I mean, that might work pretty well. What else? I mean, ghouls could, yeah. They could make good monsters too. What about NPCs? And what about entities? What are the different kinds of chibis? There's manga types. Hmm. All right. I'm looking for the kind of size comparison. There's different. I mean, it's kind of like this, but there's style choices. And some of those I didn't think were particularly well drawn. Then we could be a little bit more freeform with it, kind of like GB inspired. All right, ideas. Should you be able to change the shape of their hands? Or more something. Can a model be scaled? But this is a really great question. I guess another variant of this is, could we add more later? I would say like it should not constrain to a genre slash type, but am I willing to constrain to a genre? Are these just V1 characters. Because if we had Chibi to start with, and then we started to add other elements, we would want, let's say, the hats, all this extra stuff to work with these other sorts of characters. Ooh. All right. You know, I think that's actually pretty important. Because if we look at this through this lens, and that this is like the first character and not the last character, then that gives us a lot of freedom. Because we could make Chibi as it would meet some of these other considerations. Right. Could it be scaled? We could say no. Hit the body. Okay. I think we will want this. All right. Yeah, and I think the rest of this would work just perfectly with that. So we basically need, all right, needs. We need a character rig. All right, big question here. Perhaps, you know, if the difference here is really the rig and the mesh, and then everything else works, it might be best to have more than one character starting out, because the only difference would be the mesh in this rig. All right. I don't know. I'm just saying block form. What other sorts of simple forms could we toss on there that might be okay? See, the block form is actually a little challenging because we changed the shape of the head there, didn't we? So hats would be funky. I guess where they would sit has to be specified in the mesh. Basically, the rig would need to know where the hat anchor point is. Okay. So we would also need some sort of information about the rig as to what these things would have to scale to. Oh goodness, those are so different. It's almost unfair. All right. So we need character rig, those elements there. We need the same rig to support two models, basically. Two characters. All right. Texture compositor. Some of these facial elements, I'm wondering, do we stamp these out? Like, can you choose this eye, this nose, etc.? Put it on there. Let's say that the nose is like hands, feet, and nose. Something that you can add to it. Let's come up with some quick wardrobes that we could stamp out. Princess. All right. The texture compositor bit I think is going to be interesting, because we might be able to stamp out expressions. Because when you choose a set of eyes, maybe eyes always have expressions. Same with the mouth. Let's say that we want 5 sets of eyes with expressions. All right, I'm not going to be making all of those. I'm going to be making kind of structure for these. I might actually have to hire out some of this stuff. So if y'all know any good artists, I might be in the market. Oh, Acton Dev. That is, it's always such a hard thing. And good morning, AT Carter. I think part of that for me is going to be driven by the goal, right? So I want something that actually works within a certain amount of time. And given what I can do well, I think I need to realize that I cannot do everything. Oh, there it goes. I said it. Art and music. I didn't touch at all on music. Well, I've gone in a completely different way for hobbies. So if I'm not doing this, and I'm not fixing stuff around here, I'm probably going to be in like, welding and doing like metalworking. So my hobbies I've chosen to be non-computer based. I'm actually building a lathe. I'm taking inspiration from the gingery lathe. So based on stuff like this, right, doing aluminum casting, all that. Getting better at doing green sand and pouring and stuff like that. Pulled in a 3D printer to actually start to make shapes for doing the metal casting. Yeah, so this sort of idea, and then I'm taking it a little bit further, combining some of the welding that I do in order to make this. So So in this example here, I don't know if you can actually see it, but the bed is supposed to be cast here at the very kind of, basically the piece that everything sits on is supposed to be cast with a metal plate, a steel plate on the top. And I've basically built it out of steel, mild steel, and I'm flattening it. So it's a slow project. Basically, I'll go out there when I'm pissed off and scrape on that. Alright, music also needs to be 0. So I need something there. But I think that this is pretty good for the character stuff. I want to look at that in the browser. Where'd it go? I think the chibi is kind of good to start with. I think having the rig. Okay, so we need the rig that supports all feature models. Information about scaling the adornment. So if you have a hat on, let's say the block character versus the chibi character, you know, what does the hat look like? Where does he get pinned? Texture compositor. Yeah. Wardrobes. And these are going to be the adornments and stuff. Oh, you made serious headway on the overall shtick of your game yesterday. Oh, that's perfect. Well, this is actually going to be a short stream for me. I have to get going in a couple minutes. I'm gonna organize this just a touch before we go. I'm gonna move this up with everything supporting underneath it. Work items. Alright, texture compositor could be rather interesting. This could be done in Rust. As a game service. It should be fast enough that it could be part of the origin server. Alright. Let's describe these just a touch more. It's going to be a texture that we put onto the models. Will be I guess we could do other things too, like ears or chins. Ooh. Ears. I don't know about the chin though. Because it's like the chin's part of that. I don't know about the chin. Ooh, chin for a beard. Oh, that's a great point. Hair. Hair, mustache, beard. Separate models. Oh, fantastic idea. I know, I've got like my mustache wax in my pocket. I'm ready to go. All right. We'll have to figure out how these actually fit onto the models. We bust a mission, clear your vision so your eyes can see. Be successful is a hustler, take his destiny. Stop the blame game, we stay scheming. In my drop top, they start believing. Have you thought, riding with all right. We'll have to see. Well, that's kind of it for me today. I gotta get going and get my stuff done before work. We gotta figure out who we're going to raid. Ooh, Togglebit. We're going to raid Togglebit. Very cool. I never get to raid Togglebit. This is very exciting. Wouldn't it be funny if like Togglebit's raiding me at the same time? We're like crossing the night. Anyhow, until next time, y'all, we're gonna get into making this stuff. Alright, bye-bye.